Take your grip band, place it right in front of your customer's braids. If it is too large in the back, then just gather your elastic and sew it together. Once you've sewn it together and created a firm fit, then go ahead and sew the grip band onto your customer's braids. You guys, the grip band basically the grip grips onto anything. So the grip band has grip and the system has grip. So you want to make sure that you put a fabric in between the two while you're applying, in this case, the Reina Femai. Once you have your system on exactly the way you want it, then you can go ahead and remove the cloth. Check it out, guys. It ain't going nowhere. It's on there. I've prepared this model doll head to have 50 to 70% hair loss. So since there's no hair on top, we're going to start attaching the back end of the weave buddy to where there is hair. And as you're attaching, you're going to be closing the slits. Let's get to it on the other side. Do the same thing, attaching the weave buddy to the back braids where the customer's healthy hair is. And then once you go down, you're going to work your way back up, closing the slits. At this point, you want to start creating the firm attachment onto the scalp, and so you're closing up anything that's loose and you're closing up those slits, those two major slits that are up over the ear. So you're doing one side and then you're going to do the other side as well. If I didn't mention it before, it is of absolute necessity to make sure that your paddles are in. You don't want to close all the slits before putting the paddles in. I mean, you want to put the paddles in first. Once you close those slits, it is so firm that then it's hard to slip those paddles in, especially because our pieces have a grip lining inside. So you want to first place your paddles in where the hairline is, and then you can do all of the closing the slits and, adjusting the weave buddy to the customer's scalp. The little elastic bands that are near the ear are great for helping you keep the weave buddy in place while you are sewing in the piece. So you let your customer tie those around under their chin. But once you are done attaching the weave buddy at the front, you can go ahead and attach that elastic band towards the back. It does help. It gives it more support. Congratulations, you've attached the front of the weave buddy throughout the whole hairline. Now you're just going to work simultaneously on the left and on the right hand side. So you're going to have two needles working your way down and attaching the weave buddy all the way around. Once you've gone all the way around, start working your way inside, just making sure that everything, once you start closing up those bigger slits, you're going to notice that it starts fitting more onto the customer's scalp. So continue to close those larger slits all throughout the inside. Just make sure that everything is tidied up. You know, it's not loose, it's fitting really comfortable, and it's fitting firmly on your customer's scalp. To remove anything that is buckling up, just take a pair of cuticle scissors, remove the little squares that are buckling up, and just sew them back up. We usually add the skins onto the side parts, but I wanted to show you how I add my skins. I wanted to take advantage of that. And also wanted to show you what the skins are those little piece of fabric, that nude fabric that is used for when you do any type of parting, it looks like scalp. I used black thread in this part, but I should have used like a nice light brown color. That way when you are parting the closure, you just don't see anything. It's completely seamless. In that depiction, I am doing the underneath knotting method so that at least you don't have trails of, you know, thread on the top. And then now what I'm doing is I'm doing a gathering technique to where I gather the lace, anything that's loose there, I gather it up and make it just really nice and tight there. Once you've made sure that it's nice and tight there, you're going to get ready to attach your closure. Now we're getting ready to attach the closure. Pin it up on the left and the right side, and then go ahead and attach the one side about, you're going to go bring that closure out about 1/4 inch. So basically you're not attaching the edge of the closure to the edge of the weave buddy, okay guys? Then go on in and attach the other side about 1 inch going inward. Do you see how I'm putting my index finger on there? What I'm doing is I'm feeling for that edge of the weave buddy. Once I've attached that top line part, now I'm just attaching the bottom real quick. Let's get on to that other side. Again, attach the top line. See how I'm feeling where the line of the weave buddy, I'm feeling for where the lace and the weave buddy meet. So I went ahead and sewed that, and then you notice how I cut that off. It's because I went down too far down, so I cut off 1 inch down there and went ahead and now closing that bottom part. Once you're going upward and you're closing down that closure at the edges there, just make sure that your sutures are just tiny. You guys notice that I am keeping my paddles in the whole time, and I will as I'm working on this sewing because I want to make sure that the customer does not get poked ever. Now we're going to the back and we can go ahead and close that up. Notice that I'm using a clip to hold that closure down, and I noticed there at the front that I decided I wanted to remove the lace, so I removed the lace. Some people keep the lace for ventilating or for gluing down the edges. Because there is no hair in front, I'm okay with people gluing down the edges when there's absolutely no hair. But I don't need it. I can, you don't need to glue the edges down. It's just that some people like to, and I don't judge them for it. The only time I have a problem is when the actual hairline has edges and you're gluing them down. That really is bad for the scalp. You guys, so in my sewing, I like to add the weft onto underneath the weave buddy, just at the edge of the weave buddy, but underneath. It does really create a more seamless sewing. Also, I want you to notice how I ended that weft right there about half inch at the corner. I don't go up higher because it tends to uh, lift up and it looks horrible. See, I'm about to remove some of that hair right there in a minute because it pops up and I don't like it. Also, if you notice any little bubbles or anything at all, close them down and remove any excess material that could be protruding out of your sewing. I usually use the fold over method because I feel like it's a little bulkier, but I'm going to use it in for half of this sewing just to show that you can use the fold over method. People like it because it's less shedding, and I get it, but I also like doing flat rows, row by row, customizing it because it does lay flatter. But go ahead and do your fold over method. All this part in the back you can. It won't hurt the weave at all. It's up at the front where I don't recommend using the fold over method. Continue to now create custom rows layer by layer sewing them in, making sure that it's flat at the front. Take your time and just fill it in. Notice how I lay my track right about a 1/4 inch under the closure. This keeps it really flat. I've noticed that when I sew the wefts on where the closure is, it makes it bulkier. It doesn't lay as flat. When you are finished, and if you see any type of white marks from the lace, just take a little black permanent marker and touch it up and make it look more natural. When you are doing that, make sure that your protective paddles are in. So there you have it, everybody. Now you can lay your closures, frontals, lace units nice and flat